So Andrew Garfield must have a thing for pretending like God is telling him to do stupid shit. At least this time, it's a form of Christianity I'm familiar with. Silence. Directed by Martin Scorsese and starring Andrew Garfield, Adam Driver, and Yusuke Kobozuka. Okay, this was a lot more of an Oscar bait type movie than last week's Hidden Figures. This one was incredibly serious, which by that I mean boring. I was hesitant to leave Adam Driver in the starring part of my video because he was only in a very small amount in the beginning and then went away for a while, came back, died unceremoniously, and then was gone because, he's dead. Liam Neeson was in the first minute or so, gone for 2 hours probably, and then back, and he was actually really good. I enjoyed him. I enjoyed his justifications for what he did, his conversations with Andrew Garfield. But the amount of conversations in the movie was fine. Like I was happy with the lack of actual action, just the torture scenes, and I guess slow murder. But the conversations weren't as catchy as I'm used to, like in The Departed or Wolf of Wall Street. Because without the conversations of Wolf of Wall Street, I never would have made it through that fucking thing. This movie was a character study on Andrew Garfield's character, Rodriguez, Sebastian, I think. So the story of it doesn't really matter. But basically, it's him and Adam Driver go to Japan to figure out what happened to a priest named Ferreira, played by Liam Neeson, because there was reports that he had given up on the faith or apostatized. I think that's the word. But since Adam Driver and Andrew Garfield had a connection to Ferreira, they felt compelled to go after him and find out the truth of what happened. Even though it was very unlikely they were going to be able to change anything in doing so. So basically, Martin Scorsese made this movie to show us torture. If you're a person who likes to see actors get tortured, this is the movie for you. If you're a person who likes the hero of the movie to be the one that you're actually kind of rooting for, then this movie may not be for you. Because I personally sided with the Japanese on this one a lot. Right in the beginning of this movie, they didn't put a whole lot of effort into motivations. Andrew Garfield just wanted to go to Japan because he refused to believe the news that was given to him that he had defected from Catholicism. Everything that they encountered after that is purely because of their stubbornness, their inability to just say, oh, okay, well, we lost there. I can't identify with the religious mindset of having an idea, believing that it is unshakably truth, and wanting everyone else in the world to follow that idea. I can't get behind that, and this movie didn't do a good job of getting me there. So I took the side of the people who were like, oh, these foreign invaders are bringing lies, claiming it as truth, rejecting everything we built for thousands of years, and then becoming the victims themselves. The Japanese were definitely heavy-handed in their response to this, but they had a point. The villain of the movie, Inoue-sama, he told a story about an emperor who had 4 concubines, and the 4 concubines were always fighting amongst themselves, so he eventually just got rid of all 4 of them. Rather than, picking his favorite, he gets rid of all 4 of them. And this was just an allegory, because he told this like it was a story. This is the entire story. An emperor has 4 concubines. They can't decide among themselves which is the best, so they fight a lot, and it causes trouble through his house, so he gets rid of them. That's his entire story. And he says, is that a good story? And it's like, no. There's no climax in the story. There's nothing. It's clear that was just an allegory, and not very well thought up allegory for his current situation with the Portuguese and the Dutch. And another thing about Inoue is, how come in these movies about Japan, white people going to Japan, the highest ranking Japanese guy has like the most stereotypically goofy accent possible? Last Samurai with the Emperor, where he finally started speaking English at the end, and it's just like, oh my god, shut that kid up. It kind of boggles the mind, because I see a lot of Japanese people, I hear them speak English, and yeah, it doesn't sound good, but their actual voices don't sound goofy. So I don't know what the Hollywood trope that is. Like, why go for such horrific stereotypes? Like, the dude had buck teeth. I mean, come on. I've seen old Looney Tunes. I know what that means. And like, the main tension of the movie came from stepping on these little metal plates emblazoned with Jesus' image on it. And that actually makes sense because if there's one thing that Japanese people love, it's merchandise of their favorite idols. Where some people could do it and some people couldn't. Yusuke Kozuka played Kichijiro. And his character was that he was constantly saving himself by stepping on these plates and then just, asking for confession, because that's what confession is. It's basically a get out of hell free card. And only some people seem to be willing to use it. It's real inconsistent. It was a really hard movie to understand because both sides were coming at this inconsistently. It really didn't help me. Honestly, Kichijiro was a very confusing character because there was a part where he sold out Rodriguez but didn't take the money and then came into the concentration camp where they were holding the Christians in Nagasaki and basically got himself caught just so he can do confession for the thing that he did on purpose but didn't take the money for. And they never really explained what actually happened, what the actual circumstances of that transaction were. And hell if I know. If I'm supposed to figure it out, I can't. Martin Scorsese, I usually don't like his movies because of the subject matter. I don't care about mafia. I don't care about Wolf of Wall Street, rich people. The second that movie started off with doing drugs out of a hooker's butthole, I was like, oh God, this is going to be a rough one. And then he finally makes a movie about something I care about, and I just could not be any less interested. It was disheartening because honestly, I came into that movie expecting to love it. Japanese people. So overall, I didn't like this one. As you can tell, 2017, I'm trying to lie to the internet less for the first time since 2001, whenever I got on the internet. I want you guys to understand that I don't like movies as much as I've been letting on. I just have trouble explaining why I don't like them. So I'm working on that. But if anyone wants to parody this movie, here's basically what you got to do is just have the priest go to Japan to find out what happened to him, and then he's just holed up in his apartment playing video games and watching anime and reading manga. That got me through a lot of this movie, just thinking about that. All right. I'm going to let you go. All right, bye-bye.